Fabulous. So here we are, episode 4 of the Love and Money with Moira Bush. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you so much. I see my subscriptions are going up. I really, really appreciate you getting the numbers up there. And if you, in case you haven't subscribed yet, there is in the chat box a link pinned to the top. If you click on it, it'll say subscribe. And of course, it's all free. It's just that you get alerted when I go live, and especially if you like the show, and if you want to share it with some other people as well, that would be just wonderful. So today I'm going to be looking at a filter that blocks the flow 100% between you and the law of attraction. This is a filter that is linked to the energy of being a victim or being victimized. And this is an energy that can be, and it tends to be, generational. This is energy that was practiced and believed by your mother, your father, grandmother, grandfather, going back down your genetic line. So this is the chat I'd like to have today. So it's a bit of a serious topic because generational can be a way of life for you. To spot a pattern or an energy or a filter that is generational is difficult because you identify yourself often with that particular filter. This is just who I am. This is just who we all are. And to spot it and to change it can be a difficult topic. Have a look. Just want to see who's joined in the chat here. Meg has joined us. Hello. Thank you so much for joining, Meg. And please forward this to friends and family and say to them, come on, subscribe to Moira's show. And it's just 10 to 15 minutes once a week where we talk about the filters that particularly are active and working in your life that blocks the law of attraction, just delivering to you whatever it is you dream and wish for. Okay, so the first few episodes we looked at red energy. So we looked at red, defense, boundaries, judgments, and today you can see I'm in pink. So you're always going to get the theme through the colors I'm wearing. Today it is pink. Now the color pink is red, but it's been intensified, which is why a generational pattern is such a doozy of a pattern to work with. All right, because if you look, I'm going to just show you a bit of color psychology because this is the way I can explain patterns. So if you look at red can be like anger. It's associated with anger. Now if you want to put white light on it and lighten it up, and the more white light you add, the paler it becomes, the more intense it becomes until it's pink. All right, so the more white light you add to the red, the more pink pops up. And pink is a color of intensification. And pink is the color of love and money. Pink is the color of generational patterns. So it's going to spot it where there is behavior in the family line that is influencing your lifestyle now. Okay, so that is why we would be looking at pink. And of course, the victim is associated with pink. So there is the victim out of my my color your shadow deck and book, and you can have a look. There's the gargoyle looking all scrunched up and victimized and beaten, and the gargoyles depict the energies of these cards. Okay, so close your eyes for a moment and just ask yourself, is this a pattern? Is this a filter? Is this a block that I have between myself and the law of attraction? No matter what I do, no matter how hard I try, someone always has the power to stop me. Just think about that for a moment. There's somebody out there that has more power than you that is capable of stopping you. And if that is a belief you have, think about, is that also a belief that your family has? Okay, I want to break it up into 3 categories today: love, business, and money. Okay, so in love, if you have that filter in place, the law of attraction can only ever bring you more people to play those power games with you. So in other words, it will keep you as a victim. It will keep bringing you people that can be abusive towards you, that doesn't see your value, that doesn't recognize, the real you. And they're going to, and this happens in families. You can be caught up in a family that never really values you or sees you for who you are, and they treat you pretty badly. And they always say, do as you're told. They have that that voice of power, that force of power over you. That could be very difficult because you can't change them and you can't just walk away from family. So this one often triggers a need to change something within yourself. You can only ever change yourself. Now, in business, this pattern, this filter of somebody else's power over me can be translated into organizations. So here you can go, well, what's the use of being in business? What's the use of going for a better job or going for a promotion? What's the use of doing any of that? Because there is someone out there that's going to mess things up for me. The tax man is going to ask too much tax. That's a pattern of mine, by the way, that links to my victimhood patterns and filters. And then you've got the legal systems. Then you've got medical systems that could fail you. Then you have organizations and governments and powerful presidents that can just come and mess things up for you. So why even bother? Because they have more power than me. And it can really lead to you feeling powerless and take away that joy and passion you have to do what you do, because you can instantly, with that thought in place, that block, and you see that block between you and the law of attraction, it can cut off a supply of all the really good stuff that can come your way that will be beyond anybody else's power. Okay, so that it's about you claiming your own power, right? In money, notice where you've settled to just be in a job and just stay small in your business. If you're in a business, if you're in a job, you might have that saying, or the family might have a saying that says, better the devil you know. So you want your regular monthly income. You're too scared to go into being self-employed and not knowing what your income is going to be month to month. So you can also use that as a block in the law of attraction so that you don't actually move forward, because you start identifying yourself as a victim already before you've even tried to do something different. This is definitely generational, because you are some of the things you might do around money is you are scared if you do have wealth, you might have to protect it because somebody can come steal it from you. You have to put burglar bars and alarm systems and security cameras around your premises or your home. So just think about how that energy can creep into how you work with money. Maybe you hide your money, you don't leave money lying around. Or if you have a lot of money, you don't let people know how much money you have, okay? All of that energy, that filter, tells the law of attraction that you are ready to be victimized. You are ready for a burglar. You're ready for a thief. You're ready for an organization. You're ready for somebody or something to come and take it all away from you because they have more power than you. So it's a really tricky filter, isn't it? It does tend to be generational. This is something we learn from our parents, we learn from society, we learn in cultures, we learn in organizations, that, even social clubs. And it is difficult to get hold of. Pink is a color, by the way. I use pink in my color therapy to help me with my own victim patterns. We all have them. It's generational, so we all have them. Okay. What are you learning from this filter? What is, there's always a reason why these things are active in our consciousness and active in our lives. I believe that the victim pattern, or the victimhood pattern, is there to teach us about our own power. Because while we believe something or someone else has power over us, we stay weak and small and meek and mild and don't put our head up above the parapet. We kind of hide. We are learning what it is like to have no power, to feel like you have no power, so that we can desire to want our own power, to do our own things with our lives, to make up our own minds without the fear of what's out there and what can actually take it away from us. How do you claim your power back? It sits in your heart. It sits here. Pink is the new color of the heart. Pink is the color of abundance. Pink is the color of joy. Pink is the color of wealth. Pink is the color of just following passions. It sits in your heart. You tune into your heart and you ask yourself, what do I really want to do that makes my heart sing? And that will take you over that fear of being victimized or someone or something having power over you. Because when you tap into your pink heart and you tap into that passion, you can change the generational belief in your family. I hope that's useful. So this week, your 911 alert. All right, I give you a little alert every week to watch out for the week. And some of you, thank you, have been coming back to me to say, oh, you've been spotting where you've been defending, you've been spotting where you've been judging. And I'd like this week for you to be on the alert for where you step into the victim role and keep that block solidly stuck between you and the law of attraction. So where do you respond like a victim? All right, and a victim's response will be to give up before even trying. Oh, what's the use? Right. A big one could be something has gone wrong and you blame it on somebody else, or you blame it on an industry. Okay, this president of that country has now blocked my business. So that blame, somebody else is to blame. And the minute you go into that, you're a victim, which means you're opening up to be victimized even more. And stepping out of that and changing your focus to what power I have to change things could be a game changer for you. Power is in your heart. Pink sits in the heart. The victim and that generational pattern of fearing power, that others have power over you, all sits in the heart. I hope that that's useful for today. Let me come to our chat box here. Oh, Joanne Bailey, she's wearing pink today. Woohoo! You must have got my little internal memo. And Nev, hello Nev. Lovely that you're here as well. All right. So would anybody like me to draw a card to just find out what filter you have in place right now that you would like me to put a little highlighted spotlight on and a chat about? I'm going to shuffle until somebody says they would like one. Yes, please, Joanne Bailey. Okay, Joanne, I'm going to draw a card for you and see what is a current filter that is between you and the law of attraction right now. It could be around love, it could be around money, it could be around both. Okay, I felt this is the card. The Joker. So I choose to see the funny side of life. I kind of like that. I think you do have that kind of sense of humor, because the Joker filter can often be used to mask insecurity, mask a lack of power, where you instead of having deeper conversations and connectivity with people, you become the person who tells the jokes, who tries to just be humorous about things. In the positive side, this is saying when things do go bad, it's just to laugh about life. All right, cartoonists do this. So, for example, let's use the example of the American president, Mr. Trump. So, if Mr. Trump is doing something that's affecting your business and affecting your life, and instead of going and putting a negative post about them on Facebook and moaning about it, try to see the funny side of life. That's what cartoonists do. They will draw a funny caricature of his face and put a little funny byline there and just turn it into a bit of a joke. So they diffuse the energy of letting it turn into a judgment, defense, and therefore also making you feel like a victim. So I want you to watch out this week, Joanne, for if anybody pushes your buttons, if anybody makes you feel like you don't have any power, try and spin it into a little bit of a laugh, a little bit of lighthearted laughter. Put the edge of a joke and something comedic on it so that it diffuses the energy. I hope that that's useful for you. Okie dokie. All right, so I will lighten up. Thank you, says Joanne. That's fantastic. Okay, so thank you so much for joining today's chat. Again, please remind you to share this and ask your friends and family to subscribe. And let's all have a conversation about these filters that block us from having the law of attraction, give us all the happiness and joy and success that we really do deserve in this lifetime. So thank you so much, my darlings, and I will see you next week at the same time.